Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Michelle. Yes, I know you missed me. And believe it or not, I missed you guys too. So I'm back. Here I am. All right. What a story, guys. You know, I love sharing my experiences as a signing agent. So today I wanted to talk about something that's very important as a signing agent as well as a notary public. You know, as a notary, our job is to identify the signer, right? Make sure that the ID matches um, the face. Sometimes it can. Sometimes those IDs are years and years old, but our job is to ID the signer. You know, check to see if the signature matches, you know, on the driver's license, and you know, just to make sure that the name matches who we're signing the documents for, right? All right, so my story today is one that I had a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. This couple wanted to do their signing on a Sunday at their place of business. And so got there early, right? They weren't there yet. Maybe about 10 minutes to the appointment, I see a car pull up, and the man gets out, tries to open the door to the office, and it's locked. He gets in his car, he pulls off, drives off. 10 minutes later, which is the appointment time, I get a call saying, hey, I left the keys to my office at home. I'm going to have to go home to get the key. And I'm like, look, hey, let's just meet at Starbucks, right? It's right down the street. I'm sure they don't mind. He said, okay. So I drive, I get to Starbucks. He shows up, he and his wife and their daughter. And so they greet me. We say hello. And, you know, before they even sit down, I always ask, you know, before they get comfortable, hey, can I have your ID? So he pulls his wallet out. He gets his ID. He sits down. She sits down. She's like scrolling through her phone. And I was like, hey, may I have your ID, please? And she said, sure, I'm about to get it. And so she's like scrolling through her phone. And I'm like, why is she scrolling through her phone? And so she scrolls to her ID, a picture of her ID in her phone. And so she said, here. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't accept a picture of your ID. Like, I need to actually hold your physical, you know, driver's license. And so she was like, oh, well, I don't have it. Whenever I'm with my husband, I never carry my ID. You know, and so I was like, okay, well, I need to have it in order for us to sign, you know, in order for you guys to be able to sign these documents, I need your ID. Now, mind you, in my initial email that I sent out, hey, I'm Michelle, I'm the notary that'll be assisting you with your HELOC on Sunday at this time. Please have 2 forms of ID available. Please confirm. He responded, confirmed, right? All right, so I'm expecting 2 forms of ID. This lady get there, she don't even have 1 form, you know, of ID. So she was like, well, can you please help us out this time? Can you please help us out? And I was like, I would love to help you, but I actually have to have your ID. And so he was upset because he told her to get the ID and she didn't grab it, right? You can just tell, you know, the way he looked at her or whatever. And so she was like, okay, well, can you start signing with him? And then it'll take me 10 minutes to run home and get the ID, and I'll finish when I come back. I'll do my part. So I was like, okay. So I know that where they live is actually longer. It's further than, you know, 10 minutes away. But I was like, okay, it's a Sunday. It's the only thing that I have going on, you know, today as far as signings, you know, are concerned. But of course it is Sunday too. And I don't want to spend hours on end at a coffee shop. Like, I'd rather be at home doing something, right? Anyway, so I went through all the documents with the husband and we signed everything. So when she came back, you know, whenever she would come back, we would just be able to, you know, just have her sign all the documents and, you know, date, you know, whatever. And their daughter was there. She's like 12. And so we had an opportunity to talk. And so, you know, I'm a chatty person and I don't meet a stranger. So I really engaged in a conversation with the girl, and it was a good Sunday. But long story short, and you know, if you go to a signing and they don't have their ID, I would not complete that signing. Again, remember when you took your oath, right? Your oath was for the county. I'm sure your county clerk would not appreciate you notarizing documents and you have not technically verified their identification. You know, I know that there are some people who would have went ahead and taken the ID off the phone. You know, you may even call your title company and say, hey, they don't have their ID on them, but they have a copy of the ID. Is that okay? The title company doesn't care about your commission. You know, well, not all title companies care about your commission. So think about that. You know, they're like, yeah, okay, do it. All right. So say you did it. Say you went ahead and had her email you a copy of her driver's license. You went ahead with the sign-in. But say after they closed on the sign-in, they decided that they realized they made the biggest mistake ever. They want to get out of this, right? And they say, well, I think this contract should be null and void because technically my wife did not have her identification at the sign-in and she used the ID off of the phone. Now they could argue that legally that we didn't check their ID, physically check their ID. You know, and so that's why I never want to put myself in a situation where I could lose my commission. And I don't want you to put yourself in that situation. Not over $50, $100, I don't care how much they're paying me. If you cannot provide me with the ID, I will not be signing the paperwork. Especially after I've sent you an email and said, hey, please have 2 forms of ID, or please have 2 forms of valid ID, and then you show up to the signing and you ain't even got 1 form of ID, right? So I'm not doing that. And I would really hope that you would not do that either. One of the things that you must have as a notary public is integrity, and that would not be showing that you have integrity if you were to actually do that. And if the title company tells you to take the ID that's in the phone, that's wrong. But they're going to do what they need to do to get their document signed so that they can get their money, right? But they're not thinking about the consequences of you losing your notary commission behind this. And, you know, some people do it and never get caught and never will get caught. You know, but then there are the few that may do it and then something, you know, happens. And then you're in court, right? So if you decide to do something like that, I hope you have good E&O insurance. Because you may need it one day. But I'm not going to hold you guys long. I just wanted to just, you know, talk about that because I just thought it was funny. Like, hey, can you help us please this one time? No, because for me, that one time would have been the time that would have cost me some money or my commission, and I'm not doing it. So I hope you learned something today. I miss you guys so much. I will be back with more videos, but I hope you have a wonderful day. And what God has for you is for you. And remember to like my video, share it. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button and that bell, baby. All right, I gotta go. Talk to you later. Bye.